You are enough. You are enough. You are enough. Excellent to navigating the overcoming uniqueness of growth and healing. You are enough. There is power in you. You are enough. Are you ready to use the power that's inside of you? You are enough. Today you know you was always enough. Yes. We had a moment when we didn't have the confidence to be as bold and secure that we are now. You are enough. Yes, we had moments when we settled for that relationship that we weren't supposed to be in because it was toxic or not. Hello, and welcome to The Power in Your Voice. And today we have a special guest in the building. How are you doing today? And I don't want to pronounce your name wrong, so I'm going to let you introduce your name and who you are.
Hello, everybody. My name is Shaniah Gunter. I am 23 years old. I am a motivational speaker. I am a cerebral palsy advocate and a 3-time bestseller author. I was diagnosed at birth with mild cerebral palsy, diplegia. Cerebral palsy was a big challenge for me. I didn't walk till I was 3 years old. I had to get special education during school because I had a learning disability. I had to wear AFO braces on my legs because I couldn't walk. So having cerebral palsy was a big challenge for me, but I know now I'm able to be a leader and impact in the community, help others that have cerebral palsy or other disabilities.
Absolutely. So can you tell me in one word what describes your journey right now and why?
Well, I know in one word, I have a purpose. God anointed me to have a purpose, to able to give back, share my story, because He said we overcome by the word of our testimony. And so I know that I have a purpose over my life to do His work.
Absolutely. So, can you share a little bit of your journey of how you got to where you are now as this powerful speaker, motivator, and inspirator?
It took me a long time to get to the point that I am with confidence and, having low self-esteem about being born with a disability. Growing up, I didn't feel good, having a disability as a child, but as an adult, I'm walking in my confidence. I'm walking in my purpose. I'm walking into this woman that God created me to be because He said I was created in His own image. And so I'm glad to be able to share my journey because somebody somewhere need to hear my story.
Absolutely. So, what is your mission and why are you an advocate for it?
I'm an advocate for cerebral palsy because I want people to know more about it, about the research, give information, study, give hope, give inspiration, let somebody know that they're not alone. You're not the only one that have a disability, but we can pull together as a unity and come together as one so we can make a difference in the community.
Absolutely. So, can you tell us a little bit about cerebral palsy, please?
Cerebral palsy, I was diagnosed with cerebral palsy, like I say, but cerebral palsy, it is with the brain, it is with the motor skills of the limbs. Sometimes it can be a genetic disorder. Sometimes women can have different things going on in their pregnancy. It just affects a lot during childhood. It can be a genetic disorder. It can affect your posture. It can affect the brain, your motor skills, like I say. So cerebral palsy is almost like a birth defect.
What do you feel was your most challenging dealing with cerebral palsy throughout the years?
Physical limitations and also like speaking. That was really hard for me, and learning, having a learning disability, that was hard for me too as well.
What do you feel made you got your confidence now to be able to speak about it? Because I know it could be a difficult thing to talk about.
What made me want to talk about it as an adult now, Dr. Shannon, is because I I feel like my maturity with God helped me. and listening to him and praying to him and showing me that you don't have to cover up for the world. And I felt like when you live in your truth about who you are, you don't have to pretend or try to get validation from people when you know this is you. And so I just thank God that He allowed me to build my self-esteem up, and like I say, talking to Him, praying to Him, having my mom encouraging me, having family that was definitely a big support, babysitters, counselors, teachers, doctors, and so I thank God for that support system.
Absolutely. So, where did you start it at first? Was it the books or the speaking?
The speaking, I started speaking at 13 years old. I was 13 when I started, when God called me to start speaking and, bring the word forth. And I should have had my first sermon on the Eastern Shore at Adams United Methodist Church. And I talked about be grateful. That was my first sermon. And I came from Philippians 4:13, and that was real big for me, to you know start encouraging people. Matter of fact, not only just speaking, but I started praying for people though, Miss Shawn. I started praying for people and giving people hope and letting people know that God is here, no matter what. He's still on the throne.
Absolutely. So, for someone that's sitting at home, maybe dealing with, what you're, with cerebral palsy or any type of chronic disease or, autoimmune disease or any type of condition, what advice do you have for them?
I would say seek help. Get in different support groups if you can. I would say pray about it. Talk to somebody that you can trust about what you're going through, and just hold on and don't give up, and know that this too shall pass, and you can't give up because you're chosen to go through whatever you're going through, and you just gotta have hope and believe. And if you got questions, ask the doctors questions and ask the doctors, what can I do to overcome this?
Absolutely. What inspired you to turn your story into a platform, business, or ministry?
What inspired me was, I felt like somebody somewhere that have cerebral palsy need to be uplifted. So I started my cerebral palsy group called the Shaniah Gunter Cerebral Palsy Journey Support Group. And I started that group because I want to uplift people that have cerebral palsy and let them know that we all can come together, and we all can figure out how can we encourage each other with this thing. How can we pray for each other, or encourage each other, or have courage through this thing, because sometimes it's hard, and sometimes you feel like you're by yourself, but you're not by yourself. But like I said, we all need to support through any condition, anything that we're going through. So that's what made me start my support group, and what made me start really speaking, that I wanted to speak to people that was dealing with mental health, physical disabilities, learning disabilities. Let them know that you don't have to cover up for the world, because God sees you, and you don't have to feel like you need to fit in to be accepted. But first, you gotta accept yourself first.
Absolutely. So, tell me these books. Tell me, why did you write the books?
So I was in three theology books. The first one was Word of Wisdom
Okay.
with Kathy Satan. So she allowed me to come on and share my story, give a little bit of wisdom of, how to have wisdom when you're going through. So I talked about how God created me to be fearfully and wonderfully made, and when He created you to be fearfully and wonderfully made, you don't have to compare yourself to anybody. You just you're the beauty of God. So that what made me share my chapter in there and give people hope and let people know that through your trial, through your temptation, that all you got to do is be yourself to spring forth of the next season that God is taking you to. My second book was The Invisible Illness. I talked about, my illness and how to overcome cerebral palsy, and how to, just do what you need to do to be healthy. And my third book was Girl Don't Count Yourself Out, You Can't Give Up Now. That book talked about being a woman, how to fight, how to stand strong, and how to believe in yourself when you're in dark times.
Absolutely. Now, are you planning on writing your own like solo project?
Yes, yes. I'm
Okay.
thinking
So
about writing.
let's talk about that.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about writing like a children's book, like a children's
Okay.
book, and I talked to my mom about it, and I want to encourage young kids that have cerebral palsy, and encourage them and let them know that you can do anything you put your mind to. So my children's book. I want to name it "Overcoming Obstacles."
I
That's what I
like that.
so that's what God gave me the name, and I listen to Him and I thank Him for what He's doing.
So do you have a timing on when you're planning or putting it out, or if
I'm
it's
still
just still
I'm
it's
I'm
still in the
still
making?
working on it. I'm still working on it because I don't want to rush.
Okay.
And so like when I write books or write stuff, I like to take my time and ask God to tell me what to keep in and take out. So I'm still kind of like praying on it, but one day I would like to release that children's book.
That is sounds so awesome. I can't wait. Please make sure when you release that you have to come back on. We got to talk about it. We got to see the pictures. We got to get all into it.
Right, you right, Dr. Shana. You right.
We definitely got to get all into it. What boundaries or habits help you heal and thrive?
Put boundaries. I had to learn how to put myself first.
Okay.
And the reason why I said it though, Miss Shauna, is because a lot of times you look for the world to accept you and you look for society to accept me. So when I was a kid, I felt like I had to do things to be accepted because I want to be liked by family or liked by society. Or, I was doing things because I was not when I was covering up, but I want to be accepted. But God says you gotta accept yourself first. So I had to learn that self boundaries was my thing. I had to learn is if you put Shania first and not worry about what other people think of you, you can move ahead and continue to thrive in life.
Absolutely. Now, during that process, because, we learn a lot about ourselves as we go through the healing journey and the thriving journey. What do you
Hmm.
feel was your challenge accepting and knowing that I'm worthy and I matter?
What was the challenge? My challenge was I wanted, like I said, I wanted to seek the validation from people, but it was it. I think what really healed my heart was is to know that I'm different from for a purpose, because sometimes we got to get to the root of the problem, you know, like okay, people look at me different. People bully me. People are teasing me. People counting me out. So how can I count my own self? So God had to show me. He said, well, first, you know, you can't worry about them because they might don't understand what you're facing. But you got to work on Shania within because you can dress the outside pretty, but if you're not fully healed within the inside, then all that stuff gonna come out. Anger, rage.
Absolutely.
So I was a little angry. As a kid. That about me having a disability. Because it was hard for me to make friends and stuff like that. So as an adult now, I'm really able to accept and have self worth about my disability and understanding, doing research and asking doctors questions. Staying on top of my game. That's basically what I know. So
Absolutely. So, being that you have to be an advocate for someone out there that has to be an advocate for themselves when they're going to the doctor, and just an advocate for themselves for people to respect who they are. What advice would you have for somebody that's out there advocating for who they are, their self worth, and for their health?
I would say first, really ask the doctor questions and get a root and understand about what you're going through, because a lot of times when you don't understand, it mess with your mental. And so ask the doctors, hey, I don't understand this. You diagnosed me with this. Can you help me understand? Can you qualify what I'm dealing with? So me as an adult now, I ask questions because my systems are different from when I was a kid with cerebral palsy. So now I want to ask questions, and how can I take care of myself, and the health part and the mental part and the physically part. So don't be afraid to ask questions, and don't be afraid to ask the doctor, well, what can I do mentally? I might not can't do stuff physically, but what can I do mentally with this diagnosis? To help me to keep going, stuff like that. So never be afraid. Never be afraid to ask questions. Never be afraid to ask for help. Never be afraid to go to counseling if you need counseling. Never be afraid to join a support group that can help you and help you understand. And do your own research. Like I said before, do your own research about what's going on.
Absolutely. What does self-love look like for you?
Self love. Um, Self love is when you're really taking care of yourself spiritually, mentally, and physically, and you know, emotionally. So I feel like self love is to me is praying, reading, writing, talking to my mentor, doing stuff that I like doing, to keep my mind off of distractions and whatever I'm going through. Um, Talk to people in my support group, that's what self love to me. And it's not all about the physical, but it's the mental for me. Because sometimes I have my days where it's like I need somebody to talk to today, and I'm okay with that. So it's okay sometimes if you just stop what you're doing and say, you know what, it's okay to cry. It's okay, but get back up though. Don't stay there. So self love is to help yourself when nobody is there to love on you. So give yourself a pat on the back. Tell yourself good job today. Tell yourself that you can make it. Stuff like that. So
Definitely, we have to give ourselves grace.
yes, because God's grace is sufficient. And that's one thing that really helped me though, Dr. Shauna. Living with cerebral palsy as an adult, I had to learn that because you don't need a whole crowd to
Hmm.
help you get on. Sometimes you gotta be your own best friend, and it's gonna be hard. But
Yeah.
you gotta learn how to tell yourself, "Weeping may endure for a night, and joy comes in the morning." So if God's on my side, then I gotta learn how to encourage myself in the storm, cause everybody can't go through that storm with you. You gotta
Oh,
go.
say that again. The people in the back need to hear that. Say that again.
Everybody cannot go through the storm with you, but sometimes you
Tell
gotta
us.
go through it by yourself because God is testing your faith and He's testing your intelligence and your integrity. So he want to see, even like with me now as the adult, I'm understanding now that God sometimes He's testing my faith because we talk about God, but God He want us to remain in faith of no matter what we're going through. He says, walk by faith and not by sight. So I gotta walk through the fire to get to my promise. Oh,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Why is sharing your story so important?
sharing my story is so important because I feel like not just around the world getting to know my story, but I feel like sharing my story with might can help somebody else out here, somebody's child, somebody caregiver need to know about my story and need to know, okay, well, if she can share her story, then I might can share my story even if I got my head down today. I can share my story even when I have dark days. Let somebody know that if I can do it, you can do it.
Absolutely. So will begin. What legacy do you hope your story will leave behind?
You said what legacy? I want my legacy, um, just not just with cerebral palsy, but to be a light and be a light to God's people and letting people know that with God anything is possible. So I want to let people to know that I want them to see the Christ in me and let them to see that no matter of how my disability may look, I can touch somebody and let them know that she might be going through something, but she a woman of God and she helped me through it. Now I can pass it on to somebody else. So I want my walk and light shine through God to be able to give inspiration to the community as they need it.
Absolutely. So, what do a typical day look like for you?
Typical day. I wake up in the morning. I start my day with a prayer. I make my bed up. I sometimes I might come downstairs, give me some breakfast, make my bed up, write in my journal, read my book, and sometimes I might just come downstairs, watch a little TV. And if I got business, I take care of that. Sometimes I have friends that, call and check on me to make sure my day is good. So, like I said, that my friends that I have and my family, that's really a good support system because sometimes they don't know I need that. I need that sometimes. I do, but I thank God for them and the people that really love me and showing me that I'm not here by myself. There's somebody out here going through something worse than me.
Absolutely. That is so true. A lot of times we have to be, grateful for where we are and, what's going on and to be still here, actually, opening our eyes the next day because somebody didn't wake up the next day. So,
Hmm.
definitely. So, what is next? I mean, I know we're at the end of the quarter, the year's almost over. What else do we have going on this year before the year ends?
Um, I don't really got nothing much. I just got hired. Back. So I'm gonna be a host at IHOP. Um,
Okay.
and they're going to accommodate me on the job. So,
Nice.
and I just praying that somebody will call me, for more.
How did that feel?
It felt good. It felt good. I am in a program called the Dodge. Oh, if you have a disability, you should get in the Dodge program. Well, a rehab center that help people with disabilities find jobs, find equipment, help you with success, help you get on your feet. So I thank God for that. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I don't forget the people that helped me get on my feet. And so I thank God that the lady that hired me, she's willing to give me accommodations on the job, as a host position, and telling my story, telling my truth, and I might help somebody else on the job that have a disability. Never know. So God put me at the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. So
Listen, absolutely. So, could you tell them, like, for somebody that don't know how to find, the people that could help them, like, what do you have like different names of companies that they could look up to?
So I don't know what, because everybody's in a different state though, Miss Shauna.
Got
But
you.
what they should do is they should like look up different like rehab services centers that help people with
Hmm.
disabilities find jobs. Or like me, I have a job coach, and and so they help me find a job that match my disability. And so, but so everybody's disability and capability is different, and
Absolutely.
so I feel like that program it really helped me, and they really advocate for those that have it. So
Absolutely. Could you name one person that inspired you through this whole time,
my mom, and my
and
mama out
why?
there, Shaniah Gunter, I love you so much. You've been my inspiration. You've been my mom. You've been my nurse. You've been my caregiver. You even advocate for me, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being the mom that you is. I know it's not easy, but I thank you. Thank you for your blessings. Thank you for even supporting me. Thank you for praying for me. And thank you for everything that you do. And I thank you for the mom that you are.
Oh, see, you about to make me cry in here, girl. You better stop it. But I love that. I love that. It's great to have, that family support and someone that you can depend on and say, hey, she inspired me as well. How can people connect with you if they want to, have you as a speaker, have you in their project, if they want to talk to you about advocating, how can they connect with you?
They can connect with me at my email, Shaniah Gunter @gmail.com. If you don't know how to spell it, it's SHANIAHGUNTR
Absolutely. And any final words before we end the show tonight?
Be encouraged, give up, don't give in, know that God is on your side. Keep pushing, keep going. It's not over until God says it's over.
Absolutely. Is there any other shout outs you would like to give before we end the show tonight?
My brother, my grandparents, I thank you, my aunts, my uncle, my dad. And I just want to say thank you for all that you're doing for me. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Now leave the audience with one quote or scripture that you would like to leave them for the rest of the weekend.
Philippians 4:30. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me.
Absolutely. I thank you for coming on. I thank you for blessing the power in your voice with your story, your message, your advocate. Keep being strong. Keep doing the things you do. Keep going.
Thank you.
And if nobody didn't tell you today, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
As always, guys, I thank you for tuning in to The Power in Your Voice. This has been Dr. Shaniah Gunter, better known as the lady behind the mask. You can find me on Facebook as Dr. Shaniah Gunter. You can find me on Instagram as the lady behind the mask 22. As always, we're here to educate, empower, and motivate. I will catch y'all next time.
Dr. Shana, sorry.